Ndị be anyị ekeneni m unu n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị sị na ya dịrị ndị Igbo na mma. Dịka o si dị, ihe a bụ Igbo Media ka anyị si wee na-ewetara unu ya bụ nnukwu ozi dị oke mkpa gbasịta maka ana Igbo and Igbo community and ihe debe na Nigeria. Ya bụ ife ka anyị na-ewetara unu na Igbo Media. Dịka isi wee na-esole anyị, ọ bụ na nke a bụ ụbọchị izizi gị ị na-abịa n'ilu akwụkwọ na Igbo Media, kabaru ka subscribe and turn on your notification ka ị lapụ miss any of our update dịka anyị na-etikwu ya n'ilu akwụkwọ kwa mgbe. Dịka o si dị, o nwere ya wetara n'ụbọchị nke taa gbasịta maka ka ya bụ ife si ada and gbasịta maka ka ya bụ ife si akpọtụ n'ala Igbo. Biko mma achọ ka ige ya bụ ife. Ihe a bụ Biafran Prime Minister MAZI Simon Ekpa. O nwere ife okwu n'ilu akwụkwọ mma achọ ka unu ga-esi ya bụ ife ọ na-adọrọpụrụ anyị ifu nche n'ilu akwụkwọ gbasịta maka ihe ndị a niile okwu. Alright, over to you, sir.
Especially during the sit-at-home when everybody was shouting heaven and earth, Biafra remained very, very persistent and stood their ground irrespective of the hardship. No part of Nigeria can sit at home today and survive it. No part of Nigeria can sit at home and survive because they made this system in a way that if you don't go out one day to look for what you and your family will eat, hunger will strike you. Is that how a system should be? Is that the kind of system you are supporting? A system where somebody will not go for one day to business and the person will lose everything and the person will die. If you do not go out, you won't have a food for yourself and your family. Is that how a system should be? Is that the kind of system you are supporting? Because they design it that every living human being in Nigeria must live from hand to mouth, except them in Abuja, except them in government houses. And when you try to rise up to talk, they will call for your head. We stop them ahead of time. Today, you can see the reason why we insisted on making sure that we train our people. We gathered enough firewood during the dry season. For the rainy season will come, when others will be running helter-skelter looking for firewood, we have enough in our stock. It is as a result of the momentum of the Biafra liberation today that necessitated this stupid and idiotic move of Southeast additional state. Without the momentum, would they talk of new state? How will new state solve the problem of the fact that we are under siege by the Islamic terrorist state called Nigeria, by the terrorist army? How will additional state solve the problem that Boko Haram are killing people all over Nigeria? How does a new state solve the problem that you do not have money to go to hospital? How does the new state solve the problem that you do not have good road? How does additional state in the Southeast solve the problem that you remain a second-class citizen in your own country, in your own court country? How does that particular new state make you to become a president of Nigeria? How does that make you to have good school, good road, social amenity, social services, national insurance scheme powered by the government? How does this new state solve any problem, provide jobs, make you or make the unemployment rate to drop? How does this new state solve the insecurity, the Fulani remanding and marauding around Biafra land, killing our people, trying to grab our land, and of course, ravaging the entire Biafra and other part of Nigeria? How does that solve your problem? I have been listening to people commenting on the new national anthem. The reason I have not made a comment on that is because it is none of our business. But you see, this new state is our business. We can never allow it. And let me tell you, like I said, the Biafra Defense Forces are ready to take this particular liberation to the next level. The level we are now is self-defense against those armed-carrying criminals and terrorists in our land. The next phase of the self-defense is to go after those empowering and sponsoring them. Politicians, stay away from anything in the Southeast and South-South. Every senator must stay away. You don't represent Biafra, you don't represent Southeast, you don't represent South-South. The legitimacy has been taken away from you. Not the governors, not the senators, not the House of Representative members. You have lost legitimacy over anything Biafra, over anything South-South. Let me just put it South-South, Southeast, so you don't say there is no Biafra yet. You have lost legitimacy. You have no right to discuss on behalf of the people of the South-South and Southeast. And like I said, the Biafra people will take this war to your doorstep. Try it and see. After this particular warning this evening, let us see who is going to write his name under any paper saying you are distorting the map of Biafra in the name of representing them. And you will see how God will handle you. I want to make it again, and I want you people to call this particular segment today. I said, on behalf of the Biafra people, anybody seen trying to encourage the enslavement of Biafra people.
Dalụlinne na ụmụ ife ka unu si wee na-esoro anyị n'idu akwụkwọ na Eastern News 24 n'ụbọchị nketa anyị na-akpọ ya Morning Tea. Unu anụgonu ya bụ ife mgbakọrịta ụka ya bụ ife Maazị Simon Ekpa bụ Biafran Prime Minister or Biafran Public Government in exile. Dịka o si dị n'afọ ka o si ada n'iru akwụkwọ. Gịnị ka ị nwere ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile kwugasị n'iru akwụkwọ dị iche iche dropụla ya on the comment section below. Ọzọ dịkwa ka ibe ya bụ na nke a bụ ụbọchị izizi gị na-esonyere anyị n'iru akwụkwọ, onye na-afụ ya bụ ihe onyonyo anyị kaba alụ ka ị like ya and turn on notification, share kwe ka o wetakwa ndị ọzọ ụmụnne anyị dị n'ebe dị iche iche aka. Daalụ rinne na Igbo ọma na-ege ntị. Oge na-adịrị anya onye ndu ya pụta n'ụlọ mkpọrọ ka emesịanụ ụmụnne m.
All right, my wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where we'll bring you back-to-back updates and information as you do. In case you have not joined our social media, and what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you will be the first who will collect them. All right, let's go down to the news proper as you do. Don't share for the Obudo. I'm going to bring you the information one by one. Before I go to bring you the things where they happen for the Imo Bodo of Biafra, make I bring you the recent development in India, where one for Biafra bagged 25 years jail term in India, and I want to use this ample opportunity to tell Umu Igbo. It's high time Igbo youths and Umu Igbo pedal this down, because when Chukwuka Abịama created us, at the territory where he put us, the environment, you find out that from the day one, Ndi Igbo were very creative people. If you go to Ozuoka, where they mode gun, where they mode gong, and the rest of them, and Igbo people were the first to replicate exactly what the white man was doing in the work of mechanics, welding, and the rest of them. They were not properly schooled, our forefathers, but through what they can see, they were able to learn exactly what the white man was doing. That's why you see a replica of mechanics everywhere. You see welders, you see this and that. All these things, Ndibo were the first to become the best in it. I think it's high time that the government of Biafra start thinking towards, I don't know if they are thinking towards that, how to make education more practical when this freedom is found. Open and water this freedom. Let the Biafra nation do their educational system to be practical. That's one of the advice I will be giving to the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile. Let it be a practical system of education. Go to China, go to London, you see that these children are practicing. There is, of course, if education with practical makes it easy for someone to be uh, able to understand very well. As it is, MAZI Nnamdi Kanu has said, like Nelson Mandela, that he will continue to stand on the path of peace and the path of justice, no matter what they are doing to him, that he will continue to stand on the path of justice. And we have been hearing Kepu that Kanu have been made some offers. Even he said it with his mouth to let go on this freedom fighting. But him, Kanu has said, until death do him pass, that he is not going to betray his people because of peanuts. And that is why Africa is going backwards, because our leaders have refused to make sacrifice. They just want to take the little peanut they are getting from the white man, and upon that, they are betraying their people, which is very wrong and something I do not see as important. Let's go down to this particular information so that you go see as it hot. Remember that still today is July 3rd. As it be, like Mandela, Nnamdi Kanu stand for truth, justice, Kismen, right, Tinubu. Youth of Ibeku Ancient Kingdom in Umuaha, Abia State, kinsmen of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, have said that Kanu, like the late South African leader Nelson Mandela, stands for truth, equity, and justice. The youth, in a letter to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, regretted that Kanu's agitation for equity and fairness for all was misconstrued by the previous administration, which decided to cram him into detention instead of addressing the fundamental issues he was raising. Identifying his continued detention despite previous court orders for his unconditional release as the major cause of tension and insecurity in the southeast. The youth strongly urged the president to consider the growing appeal from across Nigeria for his release. Earlier, in a communique after an emergency meeting Tuesday evening at their national secretariat, Iseke Ibeku, the youth argued that Kanu was not a terrorist but only worried by the perennial injustice against his people and was crying for equity. The communique signed by their national president Mr. Martins Chidozie Nwosu and Secretary Chibuzo Onwukamuche respectively urged Tinubu to free Kanu just as the Yoruba Nation's promoter Sunday Igboho and social crusader Omoloye Sowore, also charged for treason, had been freed. It read in part, our brother MAZI Nnamdi Kanu only stood for truth, equity, and justice for the Igbo tribe and the eastern part of Nigeria. Just like Nelson Mandela, the South Africa, hence, his incarceration at the Department of the State Service DSS has become bearable to us, his kinsmen and brothers, knowing fully well that the catastrophe, instability, and insecurity that MAZI Nnamdi Kanu's detention has brought to the eastern part of the country. Warning politicians against any attempt to politicize the ordeals of Kanu, Ibeku youth appreciate all those genuinely committed to his freedom. They particularly urge the Apex Igbo Social Cultural Organization Ohaneze Ndi Igbo to caution ex-president Reno Omokri, ex-presidential aide Reno Omokri, against unguarded utterances and provocative comments on Kanu. We urge politicians not to politicize the detention of our dear brother MAZI Nnamdi Kanu and to objectively work towards his unconditional release. As it be, there are some comments that have been coming from Reno Omokri recently. He was going back to some of the comments and some of the broadcasts that were made by MAZI Nnamdi Kanu out of anger. You know that every living being and every human being who is sympathetic enough to understand his environment, what is actually happening there, would agree with me that Kanu was speaking out of anger and out of compassion for his people, because during that time there were a lot of things that was happening in the southeastern part of Nigeria. Even T.Y. Danjuma in his broadcast the other day said that the army, the military, are involved in what is in the insecurity that is taking place in this nation. And I begin to wonder, why would the military be part in such a thing? And remember, around last year, there was an article I posted for you, an army accountant general who was accused of amassing billions of dollars that was meant for procurement of materials, war materials, and the rest of them in order to be able to safeguard or protect the people from insecurity. But looking at the scenarios, looking at what is transpiring, what has happened so far, what has taken place, and sometimes you agree with me that there are some things that are going on underground with the military. T.Y. Danjuma said it. He's an ex-military officer. I can play that video for you if you request it for me. I'll play it for you so that you'll be able to, you yourself, you will not be a mugu. You will not be a mumu on what is actually happening on this nation. You find that the people who are doing what they are doing actually know what they are doing. It's not as if somebody is telling them to do it, but they actually know what they are doing. But in the bias again, omakwa walo, kabalo, malongye. Let me bring you back to what happened in India with Nwafi Igbo, who was caught with a lot of illicit drugs, and he is going for 25 years imprisonment. The National Drug Enforcement Agency announced on Tuesday that Freeman Obunna, a drug trafficker arrested and prosecuted by the agency, has been sentenced to 25 years imprisonment by a federal high court in Lagos. The NDLA's Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, disclosed this in a statement on Tuesday. The sentencing occurred 3 months after Obunna vomited and excreted 80 wraps of cocaine following his arrest at the screening point of the Terminal 2 of the Murtala Muhammad International. Northerners can hate the Igbos all they want, but they can never stop their shine. To all the saboteurs in Igbo land, there are people taking note. They see all that you scumbags do. For me, I am only waiting for the D-Day because I know it's fast approaching. Dear fathers, this comes as the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, accuse some Igbo political leaders of frustrating efforts to release MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. IPOB warned that politicians trying to sabotage Kanu's release should quickly retrace their steps. The spokesman of IPOB, Emma Powerful, said these politicians should be ready to face the consequences of their actions. This is coming when Southeast governors and senators resolved to meet Mr. President to explore a political solution regarding Kanu's release. My people, I don't see how it happen. Everybody now, Southeast is on Kataos because even the governors, the senators are going out of business in your own state. You don't even have a control over your own state. The issue of insecurity has become the order of the day. And they have been here since because ndị be anyị sị na ndị Igbo amara agba ọsọ mmiri. But as it is now, the rain has started falling, and the governors and the senators are trying to make headway to see how best they will be able to cope the situation. But had it been that everybody came together before now, I'm telling you, by now, all these things must have been sorted out. But be that as it may, you know, get as be where it never be before. Makano sita de bama or the balobo. As they say FG vows to invalidate LGBT provision from 150 billion billion pounds SMOA deal signed by Nigeria. No say it's kwala no nke the LGBT plus they don't they bring out money to the support things where they happen. Let's go down to the full detail of that information. Remember that this issue of LGBTQ plus have been one of the things going on all over the world. The practice now is even becoming just like a normal thing, because if you open the movie, you see it there. You open this place, you see them. Anywhere you go, you see them. And as it is, the information where we say they enter for my table now, they talk waiting Nigerian government, they go together through with this LGBTQ. Make una know verse. Actually, the federal government of Nigeria has vowed to invalidate any same-sex provision associated with a SAMOA agreement signed by the European Union, EU member states, and African, Caribbean, and Pacific ACP states, including Nigeria. Nigeria's Minister of Information and National Orientation gave the update on Thursday night following widespread criticism that greeted development over Nigeria's perception of the human rights and gender equality portion of the deal. The Samoa Agreement, which was agreed upon on the 15th November 2023, prioritizes human rights, democracy, and good governance, including gender equality and the rule of law. Notably, the SMOA deal replaces the Cotonou Agreement adopted in 2000. The Cotonou Agreement promoted cooperation on peace and security and helped boost trade relations between the region through economic partnership agreement. Through the SAMOA deal, the EU disclosed it will invest at least £150 billion in Africa by 2027 through the Global Gateway Africa-Europe Investment Package. This includes delivering on 11 strategic corridors, from constructing the Razor Bridge between Mauritania and Senegal to modernizing highways in Kenya, among others. Media assistant to the Minister of Budget, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, Mr. Bolaji Adejibi, insisted that the agreement was purely for economic development and did not mention same-sex provision. The documents signed by the federal government were strictly for the economic development of Nigeria. Nowhere in the document were LGBTQ+ or same-sex marriage mentioned, even remotely, and it would be wrong for anyone to imply that Nigeria has accepted those tendencies. What Bagudu signed was in relation to $150 million trade component. As it be, waiting the sub for that matter, we say, Kepu don the leak say that particular Samoa agreement involves that Africans will agree to same-sex marriage, and a lot of people have started condemning that. And the question is, why would Nigeria engage themselves in such a thing? Why would they agree to the matters that concerns same-sex marriage? Everybody is angry. And of course, you know that in Africa here, we have our tradition. And let somebody not say the world is developing, because the world is developing. You should not be shooking your fellow man or your fellow woman, chuku. My brother, that one no day. Because if that one day, you yourself know say very soon, now you go be say matters go to get worse. As they say, government waits into native doctors' attempt to dupe Anambra orphan. This native doctor matter in Anambra State is now becoming something else, because every day is either you hear one native doctor matter or you hear another. And the question is, these native doctors, are their activities not regulated? because I think their activities should be regulated so that most of the things they are doing, we will know what they are actually doing, because a lot of them are into the business of duping people. Let's go down to the full detail of the information as it delivers. Before I go bring you that, they say breaking news: Nigerian social media influencer in jail challenges federal high court jurisdiction in cybercrime charges, files motion to dismiss case. Of course, I remember Ijele. We talk say the miracle wey be say Prophet Ebuka Obi dey do for wey him dey do. They say the miracle na fake o, and upon that they say Ebuka Obi carry the man carry am put for sale. Meanwhile, my hand no dey for that one. Na people wey dey do know wetin do, but me I feel that Ebuka Obi knows that he's doing a good miracle, so I don't think there is anything because some of these allegations are part of the temptations and the tribulations that Christ passed through. Meanwhile, this is where I'll be winding down the curtain, and if this is your first time of lapping to this channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you'll be the first. We'll collect them. Thank you for listening. God bless you.
Ndị be anyị daalụ nne nnukwu unu si wee na-esore na Igbo Media dịka unu si na-esore anyị sị na Chukwu ka abịa mapụrụ mmiri na ya gozie niile n'ofu n'ofu, otu anyị kwuru otu akọ ya dịrịrị ise ise ise. Kapakwa alụ ka itinye alụ nke gị na ihe niile na gbasara maka ihe Biafran Prime Minister kwugasị n'elu akwụkwọ ana ndị ọzọ dị iche iche, kabarụ ka itinye alụ nke gị ife ichere n'ụdị nke gị gbasara maka ya bụ ife. Dịka anyị nọkwa na-echekwa olileanya na Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ya pụta oge na-adịghị anya na n'ụlọ mkpọrọ, anyị sị na Chukwu ka abịa maka inye ya ike, nọnyere ya, chekwaba ya, mana anyị kwuru otu aka ọ ya dịrịrị ise ise ise. Thank you, and also stay tuned at Eastern News 24. Ka emesịa nụ ndị be anyị.